What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolved video. So today we are back with another Market Watch Wednesday. We are on week 3 of the every other week, checking up on the prices, seeing where they're at. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our main card, Israfil, and see where she's at right now. Alrighty, so we got Israfil. She's sitting at 25, so it looks like that's where she's sitting at for the rest of the set. This has been the second week, and then the week after that, where we've seen Israfil just been doing well for those decks that are able to play her. Obviously, she's really the best card in the game right now, just because she heals, she nukes the board, and she's a 10-10 body when she evolves. So speaking of just seeing her as a $25 card on her regular version, let's look at what she looks like when she's evolved. Alright, so yeah, it seems like the evolved version is sitting at around $12.50. It looks like you're going to be paying around $75 if you just need the 2 and 2 split of the Israfils. If you need a full playset, then so be it, and if you want the playset, but most of the decks usually only use 2 as a maximum, and that's the most that I know of, that being Dragons and Abysscraft. Just, you know, if you mill it, then you're able to see it, or if you're Dragons, you draw into it, and you're definitely on 8, so you can definitely go into it. So those are really the main decks that are playing them. So sitting at, you know, around $75 for both of them isn't too bad. Alright, now I wanted to go ahead and take another look at our neutral girly. So we have Alice. So last time I checked, I remember her being at $25. I thought she was going to slowly go down, but right now she's going up. So right now she's at $27, probably $28. But the listed median says that she was around $32. I'm pretty interested by that, but let's look at the other listings. So we have 27, 28. So yeah, you're going to be paying around like $30 just for like one. Honestly, you know, probably 90 for the set, which is what you're probably going to need. You're going to need the set just so you can play these Fable decks, and that's probably why she's the price that she is, because she's so key to these other decks. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the evolved version of Alice. So she's sitting at around $16. I do remember a point in time where this card was $20 and you were spending a good $60 to get a full set of it, but now you are getting it for $40, so that is a good price drop, I'd like to say so myself. Now on the other hand, you do get this for less than $40, but on the other hand, you do get the unevolved version for a very more pricier price. So last time the listed median had her at 19, she's going for 16 right now. Let's look at the other prices. She's like 16, 17, 18, that's not bad. So you get her for a playset for around $40, that's not too bad. If you want to play Fable, you can honestly wait and see what the prices go for. If you're already into Fable, then you know, don't have to worry about this stuff, so congratulations to you. But if you're people like me who's still on the fence of playing Fable, because you know, you do really have to have like a huge learning curve for things like that, since we have to get rid of your whole hand for Humpty Dumpty. And I believe the Humpty Dumpty is the best version of Fable out there. If you disagree with me, let me know down in the comments below. I want to hear you guys' feedback. I don't know how Beauty and the Beast is doing so far because King Elephant is just running rampant right now. Alright, and speaking of Fable followers, I want to talk about Princess Snow White. So this is a card that was pretty cheap when it first came out, and now we're at a point where she's sitting at $12. So you're going to be spending around $36 for a playset, probably $37, just because, you know, the cents and whatnot. But this was a card that was very overlooked when it first came out. You know, people weren't really paying it too much mind. But just a 2-cost ward that just comes out and gets you some pretty solid defense. They interact with it. If they don't banish it, then it's going into your EX area. And she's just going to get bigger and bigger if you keep putting Fable counters on her. So looking at the price, you know, the listed median was around $15. So looking at other prices, you know, 12, 13, 15, 14 is what you're going to be paying for this card. So shout out to anyone who has already picked up this card. And this card is probably going to do very well going into the future for Havencraft. Alright, moving outside of the Fable followers, we have Mars. And Mars is sitting at $14. She used to be $16. Her listed median was around $15, so it looks like you're going to be spending $14, $15, $16, whatever version of Mars you're going to be getting. But you have to think about what version of sword you're going to be running in your deck, since the fact that you can also just have an officer follower on the field after she's played and they get that +1 attack. So imagine you play Mars, she sticks on the field because you're just swarming the board. You play Heroic Entry, you get Mock Knight. He's a 5/4, which is pretty interesting. So you can swing for a whole lot if you're able to set up a whole bunch, but you have to really think about it. What version of sword are you playing? Are you playing more of a mid-range version where you run Mars, or do you want to go really low to the ground where you play Mars and start playing low bodies? It really does matter. So let's go ahead and look at the Evo version for Mars. Alright, so the Evo version of Mars, so she's sitting at $6, the listed median is $7, that's not too bad. It's just really what you want to do with your deck in terms of playing Mars in a hero sword deck, or any version of sword. You know, there's not that many officers outside of the heroic sword package. You know, I can think of a couple, like swordsman. I think that's like the only one I can think off the top of my head, just for right now. But looking at the other prices, she's around $6, $7, $8. That's not too bad for the Evo version. So you're gonna be paying around maybe $50 off the top of my head for everything, and that's not too bad. Alright, so I wanted to stop and talk about Murzinski for a second. So Murzinski is $16 right now, that's not too bad. And listed median's $18, but Murzinski's definitely on the come up with Necrocharge being what it is right now. It's definitely up and coming. I believe it's probably one of the top 5 decks right now. It's pretty good. And looking at the other listings of it, she's around 16, 18, but on the other hand, there aren't that many listings for Murzinski too. So you might have to look on a secondary market just to pick up Murzinski without paying a hefty penny. So let's go ahead and see what the Evo cost. Yeah, the Evo's not too bad. She's sitting around $1, $2. That's not too bad. Listed median's $2. 205. So yeah, there's lots of listings for the Evo. It's just the unevolved version is probably just getting scarce. There's a huge buyout for it since people want to play Necrocharge, which is pretty understandable because Murzinski is a very good card for Necrocharge 10. So let's see what other cards are doing well right now. Since we're talking about Uma followers right now, Riko Kashimoto is sitting at around $15, $17 for a listed median price. I don't remember this card being that expensive. I remember she's sitting around $11, $12 last time we talked about her. If you want to go back and check and then correct me in the comments and let me know about it down below, and I will definitely apologize in the next video, but I don't remember this card being at around $16. Taking the fact that you only need like 1 or 2 in your deck, maybe a maximum of 3 if your deck runs it, if you're playing Uma and stuff like that. But this card's pretty expensive, going on the fact that you just only need 2 of her. So looking at the other prices, she is sitting around $15, $16. It looks like these Uma cards are definitely going up in price right now. As a case in point of Rune followers and, you know, just Uma, we're talking about Uma right now, Agnes is not budging at all. So she's still $40. This is pretty insane for a Rune card. It's very expensive. So once Kuan comes out, I believe this card might definitely go up some more. I don't know if Agnes is going to be ran in the Kuan list. I don't essentially know what a solid Kuan list is going to be for Shadowverse Evolve. I don't know what he's going to be like or how it's going to go. But I know Agnes is pretty expensive right now, and I don't think she's going down at all until, you know, the Age of Kuan. And if she even goes down for the Age of Kuan, that's another thing. So listed median price is $47. She's just absolutely expensive, and I can only imagine how expensive the Evo is. And I know we talk about it every market watch, but Agnes is just sitting at a crazy price right now. Yeah, see, and stuff like this. You look at the regular version and they're sitting at an absurd price, and then you look at the Evolved and you're like, just what's the drop-off rate for this Evolved? So she's sitting at $8, listed median had her at $10.97, market price $11. So, you know, the Evolved version of Agnes pales in comparison to the regular version of Agnes. But I do want to say on the bright side, I know we're kind of all over the place. If you want to play dragons, it's slowly becoming a little affordable, which is kind of blowing my mind because I know Dragon Forte was like a $14 card just for this regular version. Now she's sitting at $9 and the listed median is $12. So if you really want to get into Dragon, I've honestly been contemplating it. This is now a good time to, you know, figure out what Dragon players are doing. Even though Dragon is still one of the best decks in my opinion, just because they have just this non-interaction with this card, and just the fact that they don't draw too much, but they do have big boss monsters. If you pay attention to your opponent and, you know, stack up on your cards, play the right cards in your deck, you can definitely pull out a quick win with Dragons. So looking at the other prices, we have $9, $10 for Forte, $12 even. So that's pretty affordable, taking the fact that Forte was a $14 card just going for 1. So if you want to get into Dragons, I would definitely contemplate it right now. So let's look at the Evolved version of Forte. And looking at the Forte Evolved version, she's going for $1. That's pretty affordable. I remember this card was sitting at like $7 at a point in time. It was pretty expensive for an Evolved card in comparison to what the other Evolved cards are right now. So if you want to get into Dragons, now is a pretty good time because I feel like Forte is always going to be a staple just because it's just 7 damage you can swing at your opponent. They can't really interact to it, they just have to take it. And if you have a pretty good response into them going into Forte, they don't have a rush follower, then they're going to be in for a pretty bad time at swinging 7 twice. So looking at the other prices, she's at around $1, that's not too bad. So these other versions of Forte are going to be pretty affordable. So I would say get into Dragons right now if you want to play it. Alright, so I know I said I told you guys so last time, but Daria is slowly going down. It seems like Giant Chimera isn't as big as we thought it was going to be. If you wait some more time, Daria is definitely going to go down. I believe it from the bottom of my heart as a Rune player. I will pledge to you that this card is definitely going to go down. Just wait a set. Just next set is probably not going to be super popular. So if you do want to play Giant Chimera, just definitely wait because Daria is definitely going to go down. So she's sitting at $12 right now, 13. Listed median has her at 14.70. So you're looking at $12, $13, $14 for just a single copy of Daria. I would say honestly wait if you want to play Giant Chimera, because there will be a time for it, and this is not the time to be playing Giant Chimera, especially if you want to play Daria. But if you really want to test out the deck and then get some good testing in, you know, go ahead and splurge. But this is one of those cards that's definitely going to go down in price. All right, so we have the Daria Evo. So she's sitting at $9.99. That's like commercial pricing right there. The market price has her at $11.17, listed medians $12.50. So you're going to be paying like $9, $10, $11, $12 for a single copy of Daria. And like I say, for the unevolved version, if you are playing for, you know, just competitiveness and you want to go ahead and rock this deck and represent it, then go ahead and, you know, buy it and get some reps in, get that practice that you need. But if you're more of a casual player, I'd say go ahead and wait, because there's going to be a time for Daria to just fall in price because there's going to be something better out. So I'd say go ahead and wait if you're a casual player. But if you're super competitive and you want to do very well with Giant Chimera and get those reps in, then go ahead and splurge and buy those cards. All right, we're going to be doing our weekly checkup on Crystalia Tia and Ancient Elf now. So last time she was saying around $20. Right now she's $15.90. That's pretty good. So if you just wait, then slowly this card will definitely go down. Market price has her as $14.49, and then by list price median is $20.50. So that's pretty interesting. There's definitely all-round prices for this card. So other versions of it, so we're gonna see 15, 16, 17, even 18. So it feels like there's not that many listings. There's just gonna be a huge increase on what you get. So 15 is a pretty good solid price for Crystalia Tia. So let's go ahead and look at the evolved version, if it's any higher than what it was last time. All right, so the Crystalia Tia version isn't really anything. It's just 70 cents. Do you really need the +2, well, the +1/+1 on the evolved token, excuse me. So you're probably gonna be getting it for pretty cheap, so you don't have to worry about the evolved token. So let's figure out what Ancient Elf is doing right now. All right, so Ancient Elf has definitely lost a couple of dollars too. She's sitting at $10.50. Market price has her at $11.60, $11.40. So you're gonna be paying at least, you know, $10, $11 for just a single copy of Ancient Elf. That's not too bad. Let's see where Evolve is doing. And the Ancient Elf Evolved isn't doing any numbers either. So she's sitting at $1. Market price has her at $1.14, $1.50. So you can pick up the Evolves pretty easily. It's just the unevolved versions where you're gonna have more of a problem getting your hands on them because they're a little more pricier. Okay, so the last card we're going to be talking about is Soul Dealer. So this is going to be one of those cards that's just good target, spot on removal. And like we said before in the last video, just cards that get rid of other cards is pretty nice. And Soul Dealer is just so good because you heal for whatever that card swings for. So the fact that we're in an Israfil meta and she's just so big, so you play Soul Dealer in response to Israfil and you're healing for a whole bunch. You +7 off there. So market price has them at $9.78. The market price is $8.51, and then we have the listed median of $14.80. So those are, you know, prices that are all around. So looking at what the listings are, so he's $9.78. We have some for another $9, and then there's $11, and then we have some that goes on into $14 and $15. So he's definitely on the low right now for some listings, but you know, if he gets bought out for those low listings, then we'll have those high listings right back. So Soul Dealer is around a $15 cards besides the 4 listings that are up there. So I would say go ahead and pick them up, and the evolves aren't that expensive either, so I'd say pick those up along with them if you don't already have them. Well, alright guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. You don't know how much it means to me that you're watching my content. I love all of you. Make sure you're safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.